Look at this scene at Mount Everest. Each of those lights in the distance there, a climber. 4 have died, their deaths being blamed on a sort of traffic jam.
In an area referred to as the death zone on Mount Everest.
The tallest mountain on Earth, 29,032 feet above sea level. A place where the air has 1/3 the oxygen of sea level. Temperatures drop to negative 60 degrees Fahrenheit, and winds can hit 100 miles per hour. And every year, hundreds of people try to stand on top of it. But here's what most people don't realize. Climbing Everest isn't just about being strong or fearless. It's a 2-month logistical operation, methodically executed, step by step, camp by camp. So today, we're walking you through exactly how it's done and why so many people never make it back. There are 2 main routes to the summit of Everest: the Southeast Ridge, which approaches from Nepal, and the Northeast Ridge, which approaches from Tibet. The Southeast Ridge, via Nepal, is by far the most popular. It's the route Sir Edmund Hillary and Tenzing Norgay took in 1953 when they became the first people to summit. And it's the route we're following today. Your journey begins in Kathmandu, Nepal's capital city. From there, you fly in a small prop plane to a mountain airstrip called Lukla, one of the most dangerous airports in the world. The runway is only 1,500 feet long and sits on the edge of a cliff. Welcome to Nepal! From Lukla, you walk for about 11 days, through forests, suspension bridges, and Sherpa villages, trekking through the Khumbu Valley until you reach your first major milestone, Everest Base Camp, 17,600 feet. Base Camp isn't just a campsite. During climbing season, April and May, it's a small city. Hundreds of tents, cooking stations, medical facilities, even Wi-Fi. It sits on the Khumbu Glacier and is home to climbers from dozens of countries, along with hundreds of Sherpa guides, cooks, doctors, and logistics staff. This is where you'll spend most of your 2 months. Not climbing, waiting, acclimatizing, and preparing. See, the human body doesn't just handle altitude, it has to learn it. Your blood needs time to produce more red blood cells. Your lungs need time to adapt. And that process cannot be rushed. So from base camp, you begin a series of acclimatization rotations, climbing higher, then coming back down, over and over again. It sounds counterproductive. It's actually the only thing keeping you alive.
The first real test isn't even near the summit. It's right above base camp. The Khumbu Icefall is a slow-moving river of ice, blocks the size of houses, constantly shifting, cracking, and collapsing without warning. Climbers call them seracs, and crossing them requires aluminum ladders, sometimes multiple ladders lashed together, strung across crevasses that drop hundreds of feet. Every single climber who goes for the summit has to cross this icefall multiple times. And because it moves constantly, the route has to be rebuilt every season by a specialized team of Sherpas called the Icefall Doctors. This section alone has claimed dozens of lives. In 2014, a massive ice collapse here killed 16 Sherpa guides in a single moment, the deadliest day in Everest history at the time. You cross it at night. Cold air slows the movement of ice, making it marginally safer. You strap on your crampons, clip into the fixed ropes, and move as fast as you can. Above the icefall, you enter the Western Khum, a wide, flat glacial valley that climbers call the Valley of Silence. Despite the name, it's brutally hot during the day. The sun reflects off the white ice on 3 sides, cooking you at 20,000 feet. Camp 1, 19,900 feet. Your first stop above the icefall. A small collection of tents perched on snow. You acclimatize here, then go back down. Camp 2, 21,300 feet. Also called Advanced Base Camp. This is where most climbers spend significant time during their rotations. It has more infrastructure. Some expedition teams have full cooking tents and medical supplies here.
But the air is thin enough now that simple tasks like boiling water feel exhausting. Then comes the next deadly obstacle, the Lhotse face. A near vertical wall of blue ice rising 4,000 feet at a 50-degree angle. You're clipped to fixed ropes, swinging your ice axe, kicking your crampons into the wall, 1 foot at a time. A fall here, without the rope, is unsurvivable. Camp 3, 24,500 feet. Tents bolted into the ice face itself. There's no flat ground, everything slopes. You clip yourself to the mountain while you sleep. The air here has roughly half the oxygen of sea level. Most climbers are now using supplemental oxygen. Above 26,000 feet, the air is so thin that the human body begins to die. Not metaphorically, literally. Your cells cannot absorb enough oxygen to sustain basic functions. Your brain starts making poor decisions. Your fingers and toes begin to freeze. Hallucinations are common. This is the death zone. Camp 4, 26,000 feet. The South Col. A bleak, windswept plateau littered with the remnants of past expeditions. Oxygen canisters, scraps of torn tents, and in some areas the remains of climbers who never made it down. This is your launch pad for the summit. You try to sleep for a few hours. Most people can't. At around 11 p.m. on your summit push night, you wake up, put on every layer you own, strap on your oxygen mask, and start climbing in the dark. Camp 4 to the summit takes anywhere from 8 to 12 hours. Along the way, the balcony at 27,600 feet. The South Summit at 28,700 feet. Then the Hillary Step, a near vertical rock face that must be climbed single file with fixed ropes in crampons at 28,800 feet. Traffic jams here have contributed to multiple deaths. And then, if the weather holds, if your oxygen doesn't run out, if your body hasn't given up, you reach the top. 29,032 feet, the summit of the world. You get maybe 15 minutes. The view stretches across the curve of the earth. Then you turn around, because getting down is where most people die. Over 300 people have died on Everest. Their bodies are still up there. The altitude and cold preserve them indefinitely. Some have become grim landmarks, known by name to every climber who passes. So why do people do it? Ask 100 climbers and you'll get 100 answers, but most of them come back to one thing. The mountain doesn't care who you are, how much money you have, or how hard you've trained. It will test everything you've ever believed about yourself. And sometimes, if the mountain allows it, you get to find out what you're actually made of. If you want to see what happens when things go wrong on Everest, the disasters, the storms, the decisions that cost lives, let us know in the comments.